Shalom Akim, all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kawkadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to you, Akim, doing the work of truth and sincerity. This video is basically about this demon, this devil called Bill Gates, and his plan for a contraceptive in Kenya. I'm not going to play this. Well, actually, a matter of fact, let me do this. Some of the content that I play may be copyrighted under the fair use disclaimer of the copyright section 107. What is it? What else can be said? What is it? Explain your copyrighted guidelines under section 107. Yeah, the copyrighted material falls under the copyright disclaimer section under section 107, where you can use copyrighted material for, what is it? It allows for use for limited use of copyrighted works without permission for specific purposes like commentary, criticism, or education. Alright, that's out the way. Wasn't done very eloquently or anything, but yeah, now you know. But anyway, this devil basically has a plan to put an 8-year contraceptive on Kenya. And I am going to play this here.
Bite me. Bill Gates Foundation is set to launch the world's first contraceptive that will prevent pregnancy for 8 years in Kenya.
There you go. He's set to launch a contraceptive that will prevent pregnancy for 8 years in Kenya, which is the same thing that's on this page.
Empowering women through better family planning options.
Right, because that's how they push it. Oh, it's empowering women. We're going to stop you from having kids for 8 whole years. And you can be a prostitute or whatever, but for 8 years you won't have no kids. Damn near a decade. No children. And the real reason why is because of the birth rates around the world in countries mainly occupied by Edomites. They have low birth rates, as you can see on this chart here. You know, the birth rates in Africa, I don't know which one Kenya is, somewhere over here, I believe. Yeah, there it is. Kenya, 27 births, but of course they're going to start over here in East Africa rather than where they really want to go, which is West Africa. But all throughout Africa, the dark-skinned nations don't have no problem making babies. But in Edomite, mainly Edomite countries, they have a low birth rate problem. Their people are not producing children. So they having a real problem with that, especially here in America and in Canada, you know, places where Edomites dwell. You know, they're not having children. So I got a couple scriptures that I wanted to go into. The first one, which is Exodus chapter 1 verse 15, because it shows the example of how these devils really want it. And I'm going to read for Exodus 1:15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shipporah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded, but saved the men children alive. So basically, they didn't commit murder or abortion on those women. And of course, it goes into the excuse that they gave. But the example is the king of Egypt wanting to kill the men. You know, wanting to kill the babies. And that's basically what this demon Bill Gates wants to do. He wants to stop the births of dark-skinned people. You want to read what you got?
This is Hosea 1, starting at verse 10, it says, "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in a place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living power."
So in this place, we are being named the sons of the living power, the children of Israel. And all the nation hears it and all the nation knows it. So, just like in Revelations, because I've been reading it all week, Revelations 12 and 12, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time." And these devils know that they don't got that much time left. While we are preaching factually that we are the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Indians, Latinos, are the true children of Israel according to the Bible, that the whole world is listening. And then on top of that, the low birth rates across the globe, except for in the dark-skinned nations, knowing that there's a lot of Israelites in Africa, the continent of Africa, there's a lot of Israelite nations. So this devil is like, look, we got to stop this. We got to stop all this birth rate stuff before they take us down. That's how they feel.
One thing that I find interesting is that they love to keep pushing the narrative that in the United States, Jake is only 14% of the population.
Right. And that's not true. That haven't been true for a while. Matter of fact, I have this video on Instagram that I'm going to play. And this, as you can see, this was a conversation from 2017 on TNT. It's time to revisit this in the light of the election results. Now, it's 2025 now. This was said in 2017.
So about 8-9 years ago?
Yeah. Yep, about 8-9 years ago, this was said. So let me play it and let you hear it.
And deep in white privilege. We are living at a time in which white people are losing social dominance day by day.
You're afraid of being marginalized, right? Welcome to what it feels like to be black. You don't think white folks still dominating the world?
We do dominate the world to an extent. Look at the boards of directors in most corporations, tons of white people and Jews. Yes. But every day we hear, isn't this great? There's more diversity in this corporation. Don't we need more people of color in films and movies? Isn't this wonderful? What is the trajectory? Where is the arrow pointing? The arrow is pointing away from white power. In my lifetime, what's going to probably happen is that I'm going to become a minority in the United States. But what do I want for my great-grandchildren? I do want them to live in a white society, a European empire.
You don't consider yourself a racist.
I would never say something like, I don't like black people. I mean, that's not what I'm about.
You don't want me in your neighborhood.
Right. I mean, I think the country is fragmenting because at the end of the day, racial differences cannot fundamentally be breached, ever.
What?
Hey, but at least the devil was being 100% honest. Something these devils don't they don't like to do. They don't want to be 100% honest. They don't want to live in a world where Jake is on top. The so-called black man, the so-called dark-skinned races is the ones that's leading the charge. They don't want that. And just like he said, in his lifetime, he sees himself and his people as going to be a minority as far as numbers go, which they've been a minority. However, hey, it's shining through in these times when all the countries that they occupy are got low birth rates, but the countries that brown skin and dark skinned people occupy got the highest birth rates, especially on the continent of Africa, where where a lot of dark skinned people are. They say that Brazil or South America got the most dark skinned people, but I tend to believe that the continent of Africa got the most dark skinned people, especially the most Jakes, you know. So, but, you know, in any case, dark skinned people ain't having this low birth rate problem like Edomites are. So Bill Gates wants to rectify that problem by putting contraceptives all over the continent of Africa so they can stop their birth rates by 8 years, so Edomites can catch up. And that shit is just crazy. This is that same old devil, man.
Kind of a different take on the word race, right?
Right. And it's like this devil is talking about he's not racist. You don't know what the word racist means. Basically, he's saying he's not prejudiced, but he is very racist. And look, we racist too. We believe that our race has the right to rule, and our race will have the privilege of holding you other races back.
What Yahweh shall say, ask of me, and I will give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. So yeah, we're gonna literally rule over Esau and the other nations, and they're gonna be subjected to us, and we'll be at the top of the power structure, the social hierarchy.
So, you know, what's going on is these devils are afraid that we gonna overtake them in population. Too late. You know, it's too late. Not to mention the fact that we already know who we really are. So you devils don't got too much longer to rule. I mean, 11 births per 1,000. You know, and you got to understand, in this whole birth rate count in the U.S., hey, that's including Jake, which they don't want to include. If it doesn't include Jake, then it'll probably be something like 9 or 8, maybe even 7, because these women here in America are too strong and independent. And it's the same thing in all these other countries where Edomites dwell. In what is it, Western Asia. You know, all these Edomites dwell here.
Saying that they're happy to go through life without being having a husband to take care of them.
Right. I mean,
they don't mind dying alone type shit.
Right. They ain't even reaching close to the midpoint. Yeah, 6 births per 1,000. Goddamn. Talk about a low birth rate, you know. Even when it's 10 per 1,000, it's low. But then you go to the continent of Africa, 30, 40, you know, 42, and so on and so forth. Go ahead.
This is Obadiah, verse 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. Edom is you Edomites, you so-called white people. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle, which is, you know, pretty much taking a place across the world right now, because we're already in the beginning stages of World War III. You know, and it's going to pick up over these last short years of you Edomites being in rulership. It says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
Right, because the heathen nations do not like you Edomites anymore. They starting to be dispelled from your witchcrafts, which this is just another form of witchcraft.
And you know, part of what the Edomite was talking about as far as the prevalence of dominance with his race is, being at the top of the social hierarchy and having their image exalted.
Good. Good.
But now that their image is being dismantled and they're being shown to be the wicked that they truly are, they're not as highly esteemed as they were before. So
good. They like to say white guilt, but yeah, you Edomites ain't done nothing but wickedness on the planet.
And that's why they want to get rid of Jake's history.
Con. They want to get rid of all the history of Jake and want to basically spin the narrative. That's what Trump is in office for. To spin the narrative to make Edomites look good again. And it's, no, y'all never looked good. Y'all, all throughout American history, you devils did nothing but colonize and steal other people's shit. And you can't, and there's nothing you can say or do against that statement. It's just a straight up true statement. You have no culture. You have no culture because all the culture that you have was stolen from another people. Then you ball it all up and say, you made it up. It's yours. No, it never was.
Like, civilization started with the Greeks when y'all weren't the original Greeks.
Right. You devil.
Japhetic people.
Con. And it's other Edomites that go in to prove this stuff. You stole the name Ashkenazi from Gomer in the Bible just because you figured those were Greeks. And you're not the original Greeks. So now you're Ashkenazi, and it had nothing to do with the Ashkenazi, the birth Ashkenazi in the Bible. You just stole a name just to call yourself something. And then what is it? They prove over and over again now that you Edomites in Israel, they prove that basically your whole thing where you call Jewish is just a religion. That's why any Edomite can be Jewish.
Right. I mean, there's never been Ashkenazi Israelites.
Right. Never.
And these are just facts. This is
right. It's just
not anti-Shemitic.
Right. It's not anti anything. It's just the truth. Well, you could call it anti-lies.
Right.
Shit. It's just the straight up truth. So, this is one of the next plans what these devils is doing, the in vitro contraceptive, because basically, yes, it comes through a chip. Yes, it's something that you got to implant in you, IUD or something like that, where it feeds you something to block your hormones so you don't get pregnant.
And you got a lot of women taking IUDs. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of women just straight up getting their tubes tied.
Yep. And Bill Gates is like, look, you motherfuckers are producing far too much. What is it? They talking about Namibia, and then what? Kenya. They're like, look, man, you niggas is just producing far too much, and it is way more than what these Edomites are producing. So they want to stop it. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. That's pretty much the point.
Let's just say, the top race is losing a race.
Right. Losing the race in something that they could have easily controlled. Hey, man, fucking with me, these bitches would have been back in the Handmaid's Tale. Shit. You running this whole kingdom and you can't even produce birth rates in your own kingdom, and you run the world. Yet Jake don't got no problem with it. Even Ham don't got no problem with it. So, the point was made. Don't trust these devils. They coming up with more and more schemes to try to stop Jake. And we already know about the martial law that they put in Washington, D.C., which is coming to the whole of America soon. So these devils is getting busy. And it's not even the worst just yet. But we in that time of trouble. And it's gonna get worse and worse. But we still in the beginning. Shit. Hey, man. This is still the beginning. Shit, that what people complaining about Dollar General, which I'll do another video later on that. Hey, we only in the beginning phases. But with that, I hope you Akim were edified. Till the next time, all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you Akim, doing the work of truth and sincerity. Shalom.